The island of Númenor was shaped like a five-pointed star, with each peninsular promontory having its own unique geological and physical features and names. Forostar was the northern promontory of Númenor, a land of rocks, cliffs, and high moors with woods of fir and larch. It stretched some 200 miles from its southern borders, with the Meneltarma to its north cape. The Great Road from Rómenna to Andúnië passed through its southern parts at Ondosto. The location known as Tompola was also there. The lands farther north toward the cape became rockier and more mountainous. In the far north was a region around the peak of Sorrentil, where the landscape fell sheer into the sea, forming tremendous cliffs. This was the abode of eagles, and also the dwelling place of Meneltarma, heir to Númenor's throne and a watcher of the stars, who built a great tower here to follow the movements of the heavens. Then was Andústar. Andústar was the western promontory of Númenor, separated from the Hyanostar to the south by the wide Bay of Eldana. The Andústar formed a very roughly rectangular region, about 240 kilometers west to east and 160 kilometers north to south. To the east, it bordered the Forostar and Meneltarma regions, but in all other directions, it was surrounded by the ocean. The Andústar was a generally fertile region, except along its northern coasts, where the landscape became higher and rockier and forested by firs. Its western shores were broken by 3 bays, with the northernmost of these being the Bay of Andúnië. On the high land around this bay, the Númenorians built the port and city of Andúnië, whose lords were to be the ancestors of the kings of Arnor and Gondor. Then Hyanostar, that was in the southwestern of the 5 regions of Númenor, noted for its vineyards and fertile farmlands, although it became more mountainous in the far southwest. Hyanostar's long southern shores leading to Hjarostar were composed of wide white beaches and grey shingles. Hjarostar was the wide promontory that spread out to the south and east of Númenor, and in fact contained its easternmost point. Along its southern shores were wide beaches of white sands, and on its western borders, where the shorelands were interrupted by the mouths of the river Cyril, stood the township of Nindamos. The Hjarostar was most famous for its trees, and it held great plantations that provided much of the wood used by Númenor's shipwrights. And finally, Orostar. Orostar was the eastern promontory of Númenor, a roughly rectangular block of land some 200 miles west to east, that was surrounded by sea on all but its western side. A range of hills ran along its northern coast, which protected the region from cold northeast winds. Especially in its inland parts, Orostar held some of the most important farmlands of Númenor, where much grain was grown. The central region in Númenor was named Meneltarma, and in its center stood the holy mountain Meneltarma, that was a sacred mountain in Númenor. Númenor had only 2 rivers, Cyril and Undying. The Númenorians built several settlements on the island. The capital Armenelos, also known as the City of the Kings, Armenelos the Golden or Armeneleth, was the capital city of Númenor. It was the fairest of all cities on the island, and in later years possibly the largest after Andúnië declined. As well as Andúnië, that was located on the Bay of Andúnië in the Andústar region, on the western end of Elena. Part of the town lay beside the shore, but many dwellings were set upon the steep slopes behind. Then was Nindamos, a large fishing village located on the southern shores of Númenor, among the marshlands, at the mouth of the river Cyril. Nindamos was the largest of the many small villages dotted throughout the Hjarostar and Hjarostar regions of the island. Then was Eldalonda, a haven on the western shores of Númenor, at the mouth of the river Undying. It was built in the middle of the coast of Númenor's great western bight, between the arms of the wide Bay of Eldana, in the region known as Nisimaldar, where the fragrant trees grew in high numbers. The haven of Rómenna, that was the main seaport of Númenor, situated on its east coast. through which much of the traffic with the old lands of Middle-earth passed. Many of the faithful were forced to relocate to Rómenna late in Númenor's history. The city of Ondosto in the southern parts of the Forastar on the island of Númenor, on the road that ran westward out of Arendor to Andúnië, was another part. Then the shoreland town of Almeida that lay on the Bay of Andúnië in the northwestern region of Númenor known as the Andastar. If you enjoyed this video about the geography of Númenor, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and hit the bell so you never miss a new upload. Check out my channel for more deep dives into the hidden history of Middle-earth.